Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us to support the Tafida Rakib Foundation, a charity founded on the belief that no parent should be forced into a courtroom to protect their child's life. The urgent problem is today, thousands of families face sudden catastrophic brain injury diagnosis. Often the medical and legal systems are tilted against parents who want more time or treatment options. So, what is the campaign all about? The current petition is a call for critical legal safeguards, mandatory parental mediation before court, access to independent second opinions, and respect for parental voice in life or death decisions. They are pushing for national policy reform in parental rights so families are not left fighting alone. Now I am honoured to introduce Shalina Begum, mother of the Tafida Rakib, whose courageous journey sparked this foundation. Little Tafida's story is all over the media, and Shalina will explain further about the petition and tell you more about Tafida. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lady Sidra. Good evening, everyone. My name is Shalina Begum, and I want to begin by thanking you from the bottom of my heart this evening for taking the time to join this meeting. I'm speaking not just as the mother of Tafida, but as someone who now represents hundreds of families who find themselves in unimaginable situations. Today, I want to share my daughter's story with you, what we went through as a family, what we learned, and why we have now launched a national campaign that we hope you will support. In February 2019, our lives changed forever. My daughter, Tafida, was just 4.5 years old, happy, bubbly, completely healthy, when she suddenly suffered a brain injury at home. She had suffered a ruptured arteriovenous malformation in her brain. She was rushed to various hospitals and then was on the ventilator, the life support. After the initial treatment, doctors informed us that she had severe brain damage and therefore she will not recover. They told us there was no benefit in continuing the life-sustaining treatment, keeping her on the ventilator, and that they planned to withdraw her ventilation. As parents, we were devastated. But we also knew we had to fight. We weren't ready to give up. We reached out to hospitals abroad and found one, the Gaslini Children's Hospital in Genoa, Italy, that was willing to accept Tafida and provide the treatment she needed. They believed, as we did, that there was still hope. But the hospital here refused to let us transfer her. They applied to the High Court to end her life support and allow her to die. We spent months in legal proceedings under enormous stress and heartbreak. But on the 3rd of October 2019, the High Court ruled in our favor. They agreed that Tafida could be transferred to Italy for further treatment. She was flown out on an air ambulance, surrounded by doctors and nurses, admitted to Gaslini Hospital in Genoa, where she began her long journey of rehabilitation. She is still alive today, and although she remains disabled, she's stable, and she is comfortable, and she is surrounded by love and care in Italy. After going through all this, the trauma, the battle, the loneliness, we knew that we couldn't stay silent on the topic. That's why we founded the Tafida Rakib Foundation, shortly after Tafida's transfer. We wanted to help other families facing similar battles. We knew ours wasn't an isolated case. The foundation now provides practical support to families navigating critical care decisions in hospitals. We provide legal and ethical guidance when disagreements arise with hospitals. Myself being a lawyer, I'm able to do this on a pro bono basis for many families across the country. We advise on rehabilitation, second opinions, accessing treatment abroad. And now through our campaign, we hope to have some policies reformed because the system must change. Over the years, we have supported many families here in the UK and internationally. Another key work we do is we host medical missions in developing countries. We have started off with Bangladesh, and Lady Sidra also participated last year. We will have another one in September where she'll be joining us as well. And we do tend to take 20 plus doctors, both from Europe, America, and the UK. And we go to Bangladesh and we do work on the underprivileged public, and we provide free medical health care. That's what we do outside of the UK, the work we do. But there's something deeply wrong in our current system in the UK, particularly with children in critical care in an ICU setting. When there's a disagreement between doctors and parents about a child's treatment, especially when that child is not dying, parents are often sidelined. They are forced into courtrooms where they face an almost impossible task of defending their right to hope, to protect, or to decide what is best for the child. That's why we have launched a national campaign. We are calling for clearer parental rights in medical decision making, access to second opinions before any treatment is withdrawn. At the moment, they don't have this. Proper mediation process so that court is the last resort, not the first. We would love to see that they invest more in pediatric neurorehabilitation, which is almost non-existent in the National Health Service. There's only one residential centre serving the entire country for children. That's in Surrey, Tadworth. And the last of the list is a legal right to transfer a child to another hospital, willing to treat, whether here or abroad. And this is where they had blocked Tafida. And everything I'm saying to you is my own life experience. This is not just about Tafida. It's not just about my family. It's about every parent or every family, because this is also branching out to adults as well in critical care. So it is not about just myself. It's about every other family who might one day be told that their loved one or their child's life is no longer worth fighting for. What do you then do? It's about giving families a voice in decisions that affect their very existence. It's about ensuring that hope is not treated as a weakness, but as something that medicine, law, and ethics should honor. We also know that ethnic minorities are affected the most, often less empowered to challenge decisions, less familiar with the system, and less able to access second opinions or advocacy. It's extremely challenging to find a legal team to take up your case. By the time you are putting a legal team together, or even going to a solicitor's office to seek your first consultation, they are already in the courtroom having submitted the application, and they're just waiting for the judge to say, yes, I agree, you can go back and remove that child or the adult from the ventilator and allow them to die. And this is what has been happening since I have encountered these sort of proceedings since 2019. I know that, we can't do this alone. We need everyone's support to come on board and make this a success. We want the policies to change. And what we are asking for is they need to mandate second opinions. They need to mandate mediation. Those are the two areas that they should mandate before they start court proceedings. And what I am asking you today is support our campaign publicly amongst your friends, amongst your contacts. Sign our petitions and share with your networks. Engage with us in whatever capacity you can engage in. Write to your local MP and ask them to take this issue up as a casework matter for you. Invite your MP to attend our next meeting on the 21st of July in support of this campaign. We are hopeful that you will all come on board and support this campaign. I want to end with this, that Tafida was nearly written off in June 2019. They have said she will die within 2 weeks. She is now, at that time, she was 4.5. She's now 11 years old and is doing as well as she can be. And that should mean something. It should remind us that medicine must always work hand in hand with compassion and humanity. Thank you very much for listening to me. And I look forward to your thoughts. I would like to hear from each of you how you might be able to support this petition. We do need to gain 100,000 signatures. We do have currently around just under 2,500. We do need to gain the remaining signatures on this petition, and which will then guarantee that they will start debating this matter in Parliament. So that's what we want to achieve, and we will, for those who are Muslim here, inshallah, in the name of God, we will achieve this. But I know that it's a collective work, and once you all come together, I think we'll be able to do this. About my daughter, there's a lot of news all over media. 2019, it became a high-profile case. The United Nations were involved in this case as well. So please, if you have time, feel free to just Google Tafida Rakib. You'll have loads of literatures on her. There's a lot of things out there, from academic point to legal work. Even medics, spoke about her. There's a lot of articles there. So you are more than welcome to, if there are any doctors here, feel free to go and read up about her and the decision that they made and why it went wrong for them. So let me please hear from each one of you how you think you'll be able to support this petition, because we need to really start now. We only have 3 more months before the date ends. And before I finish, I'm just going to touch on a little bit on the assisted dying bill. The assisted dying bill is at the moment with the House of Lords. So that's where now it's gone to. I will encourage you, if you are against, if you're in favor of assisted dying, I'm not going to say anything to you, but if you are against and you see that your MP has voted in favor, it is still worth writing to them. That one letter could still make a lot of difference. So it is still worth writing to them. So please, if you still think that if you are against and your MP has voted in favor, please write to them. Please write to them. Your letters could still mean a lot. And let's hear from each one of you. Thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you.
Okay. If you've got a question, first of all, if you could pop your hand up through your phones or computer, and then I'll choose you, and then we can answer your questions, and then we can have comments as well, or whatever you want to say, comments or questions. Is there anybody out there? If not, then I'll start off with a question for you, Shalina. I've come across some people who are against, obviously, the assisted dying and things. And their argument is about life support machines. They take a lot of money to run. So, for example, the NHS are short of funds in this country. And then they feel that, it is a waste of NHS's money. And that's some of the stance that some doctors take or some MPs may take. I just wondered what your viewpoint was on that one, really.
Okay, so now if they say that, life support or ICU is costing, and therefore, whether it's a child or adult, the life should come to an end, then it all boils down to funding issues, which is not right. I mean, the thing is, I don't think any doctors will ever actually openly say that it's ICU or the ventilators, keeping a patient on ventilators is costing, and therefore we should withdraw care. I don't think any doctors or any medical professional will ever say, because they know that if they do say such thing, then the patient or the families will definitely be challenging them on that. But the reality, that's what it is. But this is why, we are asking for reform. This is why we are asking them to change the policies around this area. And just for yesterday, I attended an open day for Reading University, who have completed a project on mediation. And it has come to light that mediation is something seriously lacking across the National Health Services. They don't really offer mediation. Again, it's because of costing. So this is something they are trying to work on, implementing mediation, making a mandating mediation so that it is compulsory. And also the ethics committee, it has come to light that, hospitals don't have such, ethics committee. So parents or families have no voice whatsoever. And when you look at your European counterparts, for instance, Italy, they are able to keep, whether it's a child or adults, they are able to keep them in an ICU setting for as long as it's required. They don't talk about fundings. They don't force withdrawal of care on anyone. It's against the law in this country. So we just have to look at it like this, that if countries like Italy is able to fund such treatment, then why is it that, our country being far better in economy, why is it that they are not able to? So we usually always leave the funding argument aside because they never talk about funding publicly. No medics will ever publicly say, or even the politicians will not publicly say, oh, it's the funding, we're trying to save money. They wouldn't, because they know that if they do, the backlash is there.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, can I just make a point? My name's Dr. Alia Kidwai. I'm the mother of Zainab Abbasi, who died 6 years ago in Newcastle. And if you're talking about funding, well, shall we just look at the huge, huge legal bills that the NHS racks up in taking families to court? I mean, in our case, we were literally fast-tracked down the legal route, even though we were asking for mediation. We were asking to sit down with the clinicians and discuss our daughter's care. So to be honest, this is not to do with funding. It is not funding, related to whether a child's on a ventilator or not, because, the wastage within the NHS is absolutely diabolical. And the amount of compensation that is paid out to families for sort of misdiagnosis and wrong treatment and clinical negligence is seriously mind-boggling. And equally, the amount of money that we are still paying to basically, just keep in storage PPE that we have not used from the COVID pandemic that we decided to hoard. So please, let us just step back a little bit and realise this has nothing to do with funding. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was very enlightening, actually, what you just said there. Anybody else who would like to ask a question or make a comment?
Actually, could I ask Shalina, because obviously Shalina went to court in 2019. Who was she, if you like, fighting against? Was it the administration of the hospital, or was it the medical side of the hospital?
So it is usually it's a combined. So what they do is the doctors who will do all the work, but it is actually that they come together. The actual hospital, the trustees and the directors and the doctors, they all come together.
Yeah. So basically, even though they're not admitting it, it is basically a case of monetary as opposed to a medical issue.
I would like to believe that is the case.
Okay, Katie, you're next.
Hi there, thank you. I've just got a couple of questions and just want to highlight some things from my background. I'm in Spotlight Justice, and I'm currently dealing with a case of a profoundly disabled boy where an NHS trust cannot provide the medical care that he needs. and he's stuck in a system in Scotland where he is 40 minutes away from a different NHS trust that could provide the very things that he needs for his profound disabilities. But the government are reluctant to get involved and say that we must have faith in the trust to be able to provide them, which is absolute nonsense when obviously a child's life is at risk, and also this applies to adults as well. One of the things that is also a major issue from my experience in this field is that anybody actually trying to question a clinical or medical decision in terms of whether somebody is at end of life, whether life support should be withdrawn, are usually met with some unacceptable sort of ways to try and silence them in terms of you suddenly become a safeguarding issue. And then there's also usually a deprivation of liberty to stop you from actually advocating on behalf of your loved one as well. And I think these are things that I absolutely agree with, that should be overturned, should be stopped, to stop the trauma, not only of the actual clinical situation that you're in with your loved one, but as you say, being forced through the courts. But I've also got a question for Shalina, in that we are supposed to have Martha's Law, where you can get a second opinion. And I wonder how that fits in with this issue of being able to mandate for a second opinion, because my understanding was that that should already be in place in a sense, but I'm not sure if it is for somebody who is on life support, but certainly for people in a critical condition where it may lead to life support. I believe that Martha's Law is already in there. So is that not being used as it should be?
Okay, so I'll explain about
yeah.
Martha's rule. So Martha's rule is only for children in a normal setting, in a normal ward, not for children in the ICU. Doesn't apply to children in the ICU.
Right. Okay. Well, from what I can offer, hopefully, Shalina, is obviously some visibility in terms of X. Olia and myself, we are part of a group called FAME, and I will speak to the head of that group. I've also got my own group as well, Spotlight Justice. But also, I think that it might be worth you contacting, if you haven't, Right to Life, who have a particular interest and quite a huge following around this particular topic of the importance of, as you say, not preserving life, because we never know, and this is one of my issues, we never know what medical advances may come in the future that could actually improve people even with profound disabilities at this stage. We do not know what's around the corner in terms of clinical and medical decisions that would, help people. And I think we are, in this country, we are too quick to write people off, both elderly and children who have profound disabilities. But if you haven't contacted Right to Life, I would suggest that you do that, because I think that they would certainly want to come on board with this.
Shalina, do you have any comments?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, I am aware of Right to Life, and I do know a few of the trustees from there as well. They haven't said anything yet. I think everyone is so occupied at the moment with the assisted dying bill. So they have not said, and yes, you're right, they are one of the largest and one of the oldest Right to Life organizations in the UK. And I do know personally a few trustees who all rallied around Tafida back in 2019. I do know them, I'm aware. I think what we can do is, Katie, thank you very much. I was listening to you. Maybe starting from you, and then we can move on to the next person. So tell us, how do you think you can help with the petition, gaining signatures on the petition?
I'll put my hand up to make a contribution. I just want to say thank you, Katie, so much for your comment. And yes, you know, definitely this is something that's widespread across the board. And the problem is people generally in the general public do not understand the manipulation and the gaslighting that goes on amongst medical professionals, and unless you live through it. And my husband and I are both doctors, and we saw it with our own eyes, and we were experiencing it. And I kept saying to the staff, why are you doing this? Because everything is in black and white and it will come out. But the thing is, they are so, there's like, you know, they work as an institution, and there's an element of groupthink. And whenever you spoke to somebody about a medical decision, they would always say, this is a team decision. So you could never pinpoint anybody. They would say that there had been meetings and discussions, but they would never say who actually contributed what. And when we got minutes of meetings and we questioned why certain things had been raised when they were inaccurate, you know, we were constantly poo-pooed. And as Katie said, yes, safeguarding was raised, comments were made about us. When I got my daughter's medical notes after she passed away, horrendous comments within that about us as a family. It was actually quite shocking and quite manipulative, you know, completely, you know, erroneous comments were made about us. But anybody who picked up the notes would then think, oh my goodness, what kind of people are these? And, you know, they sort of build up a picture of families to denigrate you and to demonize you and vilify you. And I remember writing to the trust at the end of 2018, saying to them, please, can you stop this demonization and vilification? They obviously missed out the stop word and thought that, you know, that was the time to step it all up. And the honest truth is, if I hadn't lived through this, I wouldn't believe it. And I talk to people trying to, you know, muster support for the petition, try to persuade them. And people look at you and you can see that because they've not gone through it, they don't quite believe you. And it's really sad for people to have to go through something like this to then understand this is what happens in hospitals. You know, and I'm ashamed of my own profession, to be honest. It's actually very, very scary. But I think it's so important that we do, you know, we raise it in our communities.
Right. Any ideas on how we can put this petition out more? Because we need quite a few more signatures. I think everyone on here has signed, but I think amongst our social media, each and every one of us should have a target of reaching as many people as possible, spreading on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the social medias that are out there nowadays, and amongst WhatsApp, our own contacts, our families, everything. Any other ideas? Anybody? Let's start with Katie first.
Sorry, can I just ask, have you contacted sort of Good Morning Britain and any of the TV stations to highlight the petition at all?
Yes, there will be. I mean, I think just after the 21st of July, we will have a couple of TV shows. Yes, we have.
That's
Right.
good.
Okay,
good. Dr. Majid?
Assalamu alaikum, sister.
Walaikum assalam.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Majid Katmi. You will see my name on the top of the list.
Okay.
And I'm involved with Sister Shalina in her campaign and in her court case before to defend, to win her case, you know, alhamdulillah.
Yes.
I work closely with Christian believers, other believers on our shared common value.
Right.
I'm TV radio broadcaster, and I like this campaign. Sister Shalina, she's doing it. She's doing great job, no doubt, unique.
Yes.
And we should support her well and spread her message.
Yes.
And she's trying to do, inshallah, you know, to have this petition to the parliament.
Yes.
So just to put you in the picture about me, because first time I see you, first time I meet you, I can see you now.
Yes. Yes. And you are live in Italy?
No, in London.
Oh, in London.
Okay.
For a long time, I live in London. You know, I used to be practicing doctor psychiatrist, but I'm more involved with all this pro-life, pro-family campaign,
Yes.
which I share with many Christian organizations here in UK. We're trying to do many jobs, especially against assisted dying, against abortion, against sexual immorality, etc., etc. And we have many shared value with them. And I work hard with 100 Christian organizations in 10 United Nations conference.
Yes.
We had a list of 15, 20 shared divine value. We have it in the Holy Book Quran. We have it in the campaign of our Christian friend. We work very well successfully in United Nations. So I had long history, about 30 years in my activity and campaign, alhamdulillah. And I was happy to know about Shelina, sister Shelina, the lawyer, when I met her when she was in the court defending her case with her daughter Tafida, and not, to have a right to life and to carry
Yes.
on, inshallah.
Yes.
What I would like to say, I don't think we can do it tonight. Recently, maybe about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I sent to Shelina a comprehensive plan of work, how to publicize, media, mosque, church, doctor, a big plan. And I told her my reservation. You cannot achieve what you want if you don't implement, interview on TV. And this is a human issue to Muslim, to Christian, to anybody with faith or no faith. But the most people who respond to this campaign, as I told you before, work with pro-life, pro-family Christian organization. Unfortunately, we Muslims have failed to do something on this line. So I used to be Muslim coordinator to SPAC, Society of Protection Unborn Children. And we work together on a lot pro-life. This is a crucial pro-life issue, to allow the child to carry on living, etc. And there are Christian pro-life lawyers. I forgot to send her some to Shelina. So I'm worried from now. I told her, frankly, to Shelina, we are not going to have what you want, all these 100,000. If this plan, which I suggest, and if you want one night, one day, to put it in front of you all, I have long experience in different campaigns in UK, and I know how things will be effective, and people will listen, So it's good we're trying individually now, few of us, few friends, contact, but the issue has to go big, public, with a lot of volunteer, with paid worker till September to have people dedicated fully or part-time, in every city, in every mosque, in every church, to talk about it, to inform them about signing, etc. So I gave her a lot of detail, and I left it to her. And I don't want to bring it to you now. I need maybe like half an hour, 1 hour to go through it, so she knows about it. And this is what I believe, God willing, inshallah, success will come. But with respect to Shelina, she's doing great job looking after daughter. We need Shelina on different TV here, Muslim, Christian, other. We need people interested, articulate, to come on TV, on the radio. There are many ways to present it. The best successful way, religious, Muslim and Christian, the other way, humane, medical aspect to spread the message. As I said, we have 2,000-3,000 mosques at least. We have more church. There'll be a lot of people responding if they know, and Right to Life, I'm involved with them for a long time, and they're doing great job, My organization, I work with them for 25 years, SPAC, Society for the Protection of Unborn Children. They concentrated mainly in the beginning on abortion, stop the killing. But later they developed more to against euthanasia, against assisted suicide, etc. We work together. I work together with them, but we need to spread it in a public way, effective way, where people know what is it. And people will be interested to see how to sign and to know about it. So this just in brief, Shelina is aware, and I'm not hopeful the way is going at the moment. Forgive me, my dear sister Shelina, it cannot be done patchy small thing between us. A plan, organized plan, maybe I need to tidy up the plan, which I give it to her, to Shelina, and considered by every one of you, and how to get supporter, follower, volunteer, paid worker, etc. This is not simple, easy thing as I see it in my mind and in my experience.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on to Alia now.
Yeah, sorry. The reason I'll just come on again is just to say, are people aware about how Martha's rule came about? Because Martha's rules, well, her mother, it's a very sad story. Martha passed away, I think it was the summer of 28, no, I can't remember the summer actually, 2021, 22, I think it might have been. But it was the following year, her mother, she worked for The Guardian. She's editor in The Guardian Review, I think. I can't remember, Saturday Review or something. But anyway, she's basically a journalist. She wrote an article on there. She then went on Radio 4 and in the morning on the Today programme. The following day, this was debated in Parliament, and Martha's rule came about. So, I've talked to Shalene about this as well. The fact is that ours is a very, very similar thing. And when I've been raising it with people, I've brought up Martha's rule and I've said, this is very similar, but it's for children in intensive care. And the thing is, there should be the same sort of interest, the same sort of passion, and the same sort of basically, movement for this to happen. And, Shalene has been working nonstop, working really, really hard. She's had several people trying to help her with this, trying to get this through. But people just, for some strange reason, are just not ignited. And it's like I said before, unless you go through the situation when your child is on intensive care and you're living it. But why should it get to that stage? Why do people not have enough empathy? But there must be something that we can do as individuals. I've just said to people, if each person gets 100 people in a group, if there's a group of like 60 people, that's 6,000 there and then. It's just ridiculous that people cannot, get traction on this petition. But my concern is that even if we get to 100,000 and it's discussed in Parliament, it'll be done in, say, a wishy-washy manner. We have to have public opinion behind us and full support for people to understand that the situation at the moment is untenable. It's unregulated. There's no feedback. Nobody ever looks at what happens to different cases or the long-term impact on the families. And it's a very traumatic situation for families long-term. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else?
Sidra, Shalina mentioned that there's going to be a couple of TV programs. Could I perhaps ask her to elaborate on that? Because I think that might be a way forward.
Yes, Shalina?
Yes, so what we are working on is like maybe Good Morning Britain or one of the morning shows. We're trying to get in there. The only reason why there's always interest in Tafida as to what she's doing, how she's doing. So there's always this request for me to do these shows. And I have maintained my distance from the sort of like the directly from the mainstream media for the last 5 months because I wanted to protect Tafida's privacy. So I stayed away. But now I've realized that with this campaign, we have to go back in there and do these shows. So it's just a matter of the timing being right for us to do this show. I think we will do something just after the 21st of July, just after our House of Commons meeting, that we'll see if we can do something like this with Baroness Finley together.
Yeah.
So that's the plan.
Okay. I think that is probably going to be one of the biggest helps that you're going to have with this, because particularly if you can get even a short interview on something like Good Morning Britain that is watched by millions, I think you will find your petition goes from 2,500 to probably 200,000, because
Yes.
if whoever I've asked, and obviously I've been spreading this as much as I can, and I've sort of explained what has happened to Tafida, and I've not yet met one person that turns around and says, "I didn't realise that happened." People are not aware that a parent hasn't got the right to remove their child to another hospital in a situation that you've had and many others have had. So I think just by broadcasting this on national television, I think you're going to shock a huge amount of the nation, and I'm positive that will be the step forward that you need.
Yes, thank you, John. Thank you. Yes, I'm still going to ask the same question. That how do you think you'll, like each of you who are here, apart from you, John, and I know we've been speaking, is how can you support? And I think that there could be many ways of you supporting. I know you all probably have signed the petition, but you can still share this with your contacts, with your families, with your relatives, with your friends. If you are engaged with, attending mosque, then your mosque, and if it's not a mosque, then the church, all the faith worship places, the synagogue, temples, Gurdwara, we can engage all of these places and say to them, look, raise awareness of this topic.
Yes.
And at the same time, ask people to please sign this petition.
Yes.
So that's something, I will ask each one of you who are still here with us that please engage your network. And if you need any, we are very much active on social media, so you can share our social media with them. If you need any print materials from us, we have that as well. We just want to be raising awareness that first of all, we are here, and secondly, we want to change the policy. So please come on board and sign this petition. And that's what we should all be doing, ideally. And we do need your support.
I think we've got the message across, haven't we?
Yes, we have. Yes.
No.
Thank you.
I'm very happy, by the way, that all of you have joined this. I'm it's so good. The amount of support I get from the community is absolutely wonderful, and I do want to say I really appreciate that. I really do, and I am very busy. I'm not personally in touch with everybody here, but you're always in my thoughts, each and every one of you.
Thank you.
You together we make one big happy family, don't we?
We do, but we really appreciate the effort that you put into all these challenges.
Yeah. Really, I do try my best, and I believe I have been made for purpose, actually, and I'm out there on a mission really to fulfill that purpose, and I believe whatever comes my way really is God's plan, put it that way, and that's why then I do whatever I can with my full flow, with my heart. So
it really does show, and it really works, Sidra.
I just wanted to say Thank you very much, everybody, for attending today. It was a privilege to see you all, and we are very happy that, you know, there are so many people in support of this. So please do continue the good work in all your own quarters, spread the message around, and I will use this video as well to, you know, try and get more signatures as well, together with another video as well. So I'll send that around. Okay. All right, then have a good
Thank you
evening,
very much,
everybody.
Lady Sidra.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, everyone. Nice to see you
Yeah,
all.
thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Okay,
Thank
then
you.
have a nice evening. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.